Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. And we are today, I'm in a partner with my dear guest, Joan Brown-Claxton, talking about the miracles in our everyday life. And sorry for being late, but it was a very interesting situation we ran into as Joan was setting up her own platforms and she was a little bit nervous. And I said, just trust the process. Just relax. Whatever happening with us, it's already pre-planned. And when we believe that universe got our back, everything happens for the reason and everything is going to turn out to the best. So Joanne, I'm so happy to have you on this beautiful time with me together. Talk a little bit about yourself and we'll dive deeper into the miracle.
So a little bit about myself. Of course, you already know my name, and you may have been seeing me all over Facebook for different reasons. I am currently in the financial services space again. Used to be in banking, and I'm continuing my career helping others to understand first how money works. And in order to understand how money works, we share our vision with them, our knowledge with them. And once that knowledge is shared, then we're able to provide services to the people that we meet with on a daily basis. And trust me, there are a lot of people that we do need to meet with, and we're always seeking others who need us. So pretty much that's a little bit about me in terms of what I do. On a day-to-day basis, I interact with a lot of people because I do a lot of networking. I love to meet people. I'm enjoying all the different profiles and careers of those that I get in touch with. And it's just an awesome environment to be in. We are in a space where everybody is family, everybody is in faith, everybody is having fun, and everybody is focused on family as well as fitness. So I'm in a great space and I'm at peace. That's pretty much who I am at the moment.
That's so beautiful. Thanks for sharing. And I just also want to ask you, how did you end up doing what you are doing? Because obviously you were working in the banking industry for over 25 years and you had a great position. What made you change your career, right? Because a lot of people sitting where they are and they are afraid because they think that once they lose that comfort and that security at the place where they are not gonna gain what they have already, right? So they are scared and they don't want to really moving forward or do something in their lives. What made you change your mind and just step out of your comfort zone and do what you do now?
Well, that's a very, very, very interesting question. I was at a turning point in my career where a decision had to be made one way or the other. But I enjoyed all the years I spent in banking. So why did I make a change? Interestingly, initially we had no choice because the operation was changing, and once technology comes in and technologists take over certain aspects of your career, then things have to be adjusted. And I was more than happy to part ways with JP Morgan Chase after 25 years. So I started a business on my own. And that was working kind of when I started. But of course, it takes time, it takes money. And if you don't have both, then it's difficult. So I did not switch exactly from banking to where I am right now. In the middle of that was teaching. And I kept seeing the advertisement about you remember somebody's name, who's going to remember yours? And I thought about it. And I said, oh, they need teachers? That's a noble profession. I could do that. So I did that for 13 years. Then you may ask, what happened? Well, I enjoy the students, but I had difficulty with administration. But I've always wanted to go beyond where I am to something different anyway. So I wanted to combine banking with education and create a career that's new. And this just fell in my lap during COVID, and no regrets. I left teaching and I'm with this company on a full-time basis, doing what I enjoy doing what I know how to do, doing what I have experienced personally. And by the way, I have a finance degree from Pace University. So everything comes together for all that is good. So why did I make the change? Things happen, times change, COVID happened, and that pushed me into the position I'm in.
This is beautiful. Thanks for sharing. And like, our life is always full of changes. Changes are inevitable. And sometimes when we are not the ones at the driver's seat and not the ones that making these changes, our life is going to push us to make these changes, right? And as you mentioned about COVID, the same thing happened with me because I was in the corporate world, in the accounting field for all my years. I knew myself. And during the COVID, when I lost the job, that was the time when I decided to go within and discover what my gifts and talents are and how I could contribute to this world, right? So the point is that sometimes something that happens as adversity and from the outside, it looks like horrible events. For a lot of people, it was such a great start of something new, of something fresh. And people finally discovered something amazing about themselves and they're just going and rolling. So the point is, in any given situation, we could be the winners. And it's all about just finding the way, finding the solution. And like I said, don't get stuck with the problems. Don't stay with the problem, just find the solution. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, let me make a comment to the audience who is watching. Be of good courage. Whatever comes your way, God knows best. Stand up to whatever you have to face. He has brought you to this point. He will take you further. Don't worry. Don't fret. Don't get upset. Don't curse anybody out. Just stand up and be strong and make the next move. And you will be a success. Believe me, I've lived it.
So beautiful. So Joan, share one of the beautiful, beautiful stories that the miraculous stories, as I keep repeating myself, that I see the miracles in everyday life. And it doesn't have to be something huge, right? The little things that make up, the rainbow that we see in the sky, the beautiful flowers, the hug from my son, the hug from my daughter. These are the little things that really, really make us so special, right? And yes. It's just, we have to actually look for these miracles and we have to welcome these miracles. That's exactly how things really showing up in our life. So what was your miracle? Something that maybe recently happened with you or something that really had that impact on you so the audience could listen and relate and start recognizing themselves in the middle of that?
So a very, very recent example of a miracle, I would call it, was like about 2 weeks ago. I strained my back. And when I strained my back, I could feel like I pulled a muscle. And that was on a Friday because I lifted something poorly. And I was in pain. And when I went to bed Friday night, I was in so much pain, I could barely get on the bed. And the next day I got up, I was walking lean, bending forward, barely moving, because I was in so much pain. Anyway, once I straightened up, I was able to walk as if nothing was wrong with me. And I went to the store, then I came back home, and I got in the tub, and I had a beautiful bath with Epsom salt. And I felt a little better. So going to bed Saturday night, I took 2 Tylenol, and I rested. Sunday, I got up. I'm still bent. I'm still walking lean. But once I straightened up, I felt like I was okay. So I went to church. Then I came back home. When I came back home, I was over the stove fixing dinner. And something came over me. I had an encounter. That's the only thing I could call it. An encounter. And I said, what's going on? I'm moving about as if nothing happened, although I had so much pain on Friday and on Saturday, and even this morning, Sunday morning, when I got up. And I'm moving about as if there's no pain. And believe you me, I went into, I don't know what it was that I went into, but I had an experience. I call it an encounter. I was crying, and then he touched me, came over me. And I believe, based on what I was experiencing, that Jesus touched me and healed me at that moment, because I was just thanking him and praising God, and I'm crying and I'm wailing and I'm bawling and I'm weeping and I'm singing and it went on for a while. I can't tell you how long. If that wasn't a miracle, I don't know what was or what is or what will be, because that was my experience with the pain that I was in, to know that I was healed. Now, when I bent after that, I did feel some indication of pain, but nothing compared to what I was feeling before. And gradually, it has disappeared. And I have only the Almighty God to thank for it. Okay? That's my most recent miracle.
Wow, this is so beautiful, and thanks for sharing. You know what? I think no matter what we all believe in, right? But there is something, there is that life force, there is that, higher power that we are all connected to. And that's why I keep telling people that not everybody is aware of the fact that we are more powerful than we know of. And the only way to experience if that's true, when we put in the conditions that it seems like unbearable, it seems like we cannot just get out of it, right? And Monique said, amen, for sure, right? Amen. So sometimes when we throw into the situation and it feels like, we are not going to get out of it, and magically, or like I say, miraculously, we get out of it. It just proves the point that there is so much power inside of us, because we are connected to something bigger, higher, and something that guides us, something that really, holds us, our hand, I should say, something that protects us, right?
I believe.
So, absolutely, yes, and 100%. And like for me, since I'm working with people and I'm in a space of manifestation, right, where we say that our thoughts become the things, right? Whatever we are thinking about, whatever we are dreaming about, we are actually able to bring it forward into our reality. And for me, the experience of miracle is our mind is such a marvelous tool. So each time when we focus on something, sooner or later it's gonna expand, right? That's why when people continuously worrying about something, they are like always in the problem space. What do they recreate? They recreate of the same kind. Whatever they are thinking about, that's exactly what happened to them, right?
Let me say this. As a young girl, I agree with you. I totally agree. And I'm going to endorse that in this manner. As a young girl, I dreamt of being in the United States. And being in the United States at that time, knowing that I didn't have family or I didn't have anyone to bring me to the United States, to come here, it's going to be a miracle that it's going to take to get me here, right? But speaking of manifestation, if I've never had another manifestation in my life, I know this was one. Because I always felt that I would be in the United States. And I never stopped going to the embassy until I got a visa to be in the United States.
Woohoo!
I did it the legitimate way, but it took patience and courage and persistence and a lot of no's before I got that yes. And when I told one of we have three girlfriends, I have three girlfriends, three of us together as high school mates. And when I told one of them that I dreamt I was in the United States, she laughed because it was so far-fetched to believe that I could be here. And here I am so many years later. And I dreamed it and talked it and believed it into existence. So I know manifestation works.
It's so beautiful. It's so powerful.
You have to believe and you have to have faith.
Very important, because when people start doubting, when they're skeptical about it, they are just, ruining all that momentum. So that's why a lot of people, they quit too fast, because it's easy to get inspired. But then there is a process, because, with all our beliefs that we have inside of us, with our mindset, which we are reprogramming, and it takes time, it takes effort. So I say, what is the difference? Anyway, if we are going to be breathing in for another 365 days, we are still going to create the life. So rather than creating it by default, why don't we do it by design? Why don't we set the intentions and the vision, what we truly want in our life, rather than just, living with them, through the motions. So this is very powerful.
But it's a discipline, and it's a discipline to be, let's say, consistent in your thoughts to bring it about. You can't waver. You can't doubt yourself. You can't not believe that it's going to happen. Because when you do that, you have to start all over again to create the atmosphere that will build the momentum into reality. So you've got to keep going. Be consistent in your thinking. Stay positive and believe it's going to happen. And it will.
And obviously taking the action steps, because just wishing is not gonna work, right? Like you will keep going to that embassy, no matter how many times you heard no, you continue doing it. So it's the same thing. You do your step by step in order to get where you want to be. And things are really miraculously work.
That's what we call faith without works. You've got to work. Have the faith, but you got to do the work.
Right. And it just, the fact knowing that these miracles exist, it gives us so much more fun to enjoy in life and something to look forward to, because we know that we can actually create anything, right? And once we start to welcome those miracles, we start paying attention, because I would just invite everybody, listeners who are listening to us, just go back in time and start thinking about the time when you were doing something, when you were trying to do something without knowing exactly how it's going to come out, but you went, did it, and you were successful in it. And how did it make you feel? Because we all had the winning moments in our life, but a lot of times people are so in doubt that they don't even count all the wins that they had before. All they are focusing on is just, it's not going to work for me. Right? Each time, whatever you offer to somebody, the first thing is what? Rejection. It's like,
Right.
what if it's not gonna work? Or I don't want to try, or this is not gonna be, this is not for me, right? So people are so, programmed with the negative programs, because that's what the news broadcasting, that's what the economy says, that's what everybody else is talking about, that people just lose the momentum of really controlling their own thinking. And that's why everything is happening the way it is.
And not only that, you can't skip the small wins, because the small wins lead to the big things that you are driving towards. If I had discarded, as you said, all these no's that I'm getting as if it's nothing, and not count them as something happening, but not the right thing, let me keep going until the right thing happens, I would have given up and it wouldn't happen. So my small wins were in the experience to know that, yes, I'm getting so many no's, but one of these days it could turn to be a yes. Why not keep going? Right?
So beautiful, so beautiful.
And it may look like not a win. How could you call a no a win? It is a win because something is actually happening. And that gives me the courage to keep going, because I expect a yes the next time I go. And I keep going until it happens.
That's beautiful. And it just like to know that there is always a way. If there is a problem, there is a solution, but they are not on the same level. So for us, it just takes that time to figure out what is the solution. And if something doesn't work, it doesn't mean that it's the failure. It means this doesn't work this particular way. So we could try it with a different way, right? So there is always a way. It just, if we know about it, if we kind of keep our mindset for that, and knowing that we are supported, we make one step and the universe is going to make 10 steps just to make it happen for us.
And for those who are watching and are struggling with things that you want to accomplish, but you can't accomplish them, please don't give up. Keep trying, because things happen for you in the right time. You don't have to rush to say microwave this because it's going to happen right away. It takes time. I remember when I was getting my first home, I heard they were building these homes. Really? In my neighborhood? I got to get one of those. And I did just about anything and everything I could that was legal to make sure I got one. Me, at 30-something, purchasing a home? Really? Can you afford it? No. Are you going to find a way to get it? Of course. And it's going to be the legitimate way. But it means that I'm going to bring my thoughts into existence. And a home is a big deal. And I know homes are expensive now. And I know interest rates are high. But it doesn't mean that there isn't a way you can still make it become a reality. So I just encourage everybody, don't give up. Whatever it is that you're struggling with, just keep trying. Count the wins that you get along the way and just keep going. That miracle will happen for you as it did for me many times.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Joanne. And I just wanted to wrap it up to say to the audience that just continue counting your blessings and miracles, because the more you're gonna find these miracles on a daily basis and be grateful for them, because it's very important to express the gratitude, the more good you're gonna bring into your life. So keep enjoying, bless these beautiful miracles, and expect more to come. Thank you so much, Joanne, for joining us today. It was beautiful, it was magical, and good luck with everything.
I thank you for the opportunity, and I thank God that I was able to be here without pain. Thank you.
That's the most important thing.
Yes.
Have a good one, everybody.
Have a great evening.